Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Qingling Chen, the third presenter of today. The title of my presentation is Effect of High Pressure Processing on Quality Attributes of Tilapia Fields During Refrigerated Storage. Chinese title is 高压处理对无锅鱼片冷藏期间品质特性的影响。This is my main and minor article. My minor article is high pressure processing of barramundi mussels before freezing, the effects on selected physiochemical properties during frozen storage. And then this is my outline divided into 5 parts. The first part is introduction. Fish is a major protein source rich in omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, vitamin B and D, and minerals. Fish meat is also very perishable, and its deterioration tends to rapidly occur. Brazil figures among the 25 major producers worldwide in the same year, and currently the most cultivated species is tilapia. FAO projections estimate that tilapia produce will grow even more in the future, and by 2030, this species together with carp and catfish will represent approximately 62% of total aquaculture product in the world. In this context, high pressure processing is an interesting alternative to be used previously to refrigerated or frozen storage, since this technology is able to reduce initial microbial loads of food without significantly affect nutrients, value, and sensory attributes of final products. Color is one of the main attributes of food that influence purchase intent, particularly for fish. Appearance is very important for consumers, since it is a key aspect that indicates freshness of the product. Together with color, texture is also important characteristic concerning quality and acceptance of fish fields, and consumers tend to prefer fish meat when it is firmer. Loss of freshness is caused primarily due to endogenous enzyme present in fish flesh, but microorganisms can also cause deterioration of fish pellets. Therefore, initial microbiological quality of fish is crucial for minimizing the deterioration process. Several studies have shown HPP effect on different fish species, but HPP on tilapia will only focus on myosin and actin. And this is my minor article experiment design. So firstly, the barramundi fish were fresh and the size was around 0.8 kg, and after 8 months of culture, and the fish field will undergo vacuum pack, and the HPP treatment will have 150, 200, 250, and 300 megapascal for 3 minutes. And after pressurized, the packed fish sample were frozen at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 4 hours, and there's a correction. It should be transferred to a conventional freezer room for up to 18 weeks storage at negative 18 degrees Celsius. And before the analysis, then the frozen fish was thawed in a circulating water bath and set at 20 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And my minor article's table 1 shows the color change of control and pressurized barramundi mussels during 18 weeks storage at negative 18 degrees Celsius. And L represents the brightness and the whiteness, and H represents the between value A and value B. And for the 3 results of the color parameters at the storage time of initial, which is storage time at 0 week, shows that when the pressure is increased, the value of the color parameters will also increase. And the result shows that there was no significant difference between the storage times. And the figure 1 shows the appearance of untreated barramundi fish and pressurized fish after blasting, freezing, and thawing, and shows that the 300 megapar is whiter than the control group, and there were no significant difference in the appearance when compared to control groups and 150 megapar and 200 megapar. And table 2 shows the change of textural properties of controlled and pressurized barramundi mussels during storage at negative 18 degrees Celsius. And we will mainly focus on hardness. And the result of hardness shows that the hardness did not affect by the storage times. But the hardness was affected by when the pressure is increased. And the aim is the present study aimed at evaluating the effects of HPP on color, texture, microbiological qualities, and acceptance of tilapia films appearance immediately after the process and during refrigerated storage at 5 degrees Celsius during 1 week in comparison with unpressurized samples. Materials and method. The first one is the experiment design of my main article. The tilapia will undergo pretreatment and divide into 3 groups, which is control group without any pressurized, and HPP condition we have 100, 200, 300, and 400 megapar for 1 and 3 minutes. And the chemical composition they done is moisture content, crude protein content, and fat and ash content. And the control group and HPP condition will undergo an initial analysis which has control texture, color, texture, microbiological, statistical analysis, and sensory evaluation. The tilapia fields was the next we will talk about the tilapia fields pretreatments. And the fresh tilapia will remove the skin, scales, and fill in. And the fillet's average size is 27 cm and the weight 500 grams. And approximately 150 individuals were used. And the fillets was placed into the plastic bag and transferred to the lab. Then under refrigerations in cooler container with ice and put into the nylon and polyethylene packaging. Then under vacuum pack. For the HPP equipment, this is the equipment used in the high pressure processing. And there's the pressure transmitting medium and its temperature. This is the model that use of color parameters used in the color analysis, and the parameter measures will have L, A, and B, and the whiteness. For texture analysis, we will have compression test and shear force test, and these are the parameters of the texture analysis. And this is a model of texture analyzer used in the analysis. For microbiological analysis, the tilapia fields was processed at 24 hours before analysis and kept refrigerated at 5 degrees Celsius until plating, and crushed tilapia homogenized with 225 ml of sterile per ton and put into the stomacher 400 circuliliter for 2 minutes. Then chemical dilutions were prepared with the same diluents, and the diluents were put into the agar plate and incubate for 7 degrees Celsius for 10 days. For sensory evaluations, we will have Visual acceptance of tilapia, ideal white color of tilapia, and acceptance of tilapia after cook. And the HPP condition were used in the visual acceptance, and the ideal white is 100, 200, 300, 400 megapar in 1 and 3 minutes, while the acceptance after tilapia after cook were only 100 and 400 megapar for 3 minutes. And the ranging for visual acceptance is disliked to light extremely, while the ideal white is extremely whiter than the ideal to extremely less whiter than the ideal. And after done the initial analysis, the author also investigated about the effect of polarization on tilapia field under refrigerated storage. And the condition of HPP were used 200 and 400 megapar for 3 minutes. And the analysis were made after 1 and 7 days after refrigerated storage. And the analysis done was color analysis and compression test, and also total aerobic cytotrophic count. Result and discussion. Table 1 shows the chemical composition of tilapia field. And the fat content was less than 2.0, which shows that tilapia field is a low-fat fish. Table 2 shows the color parameters of polarized tilapia fillets and controls. And the values L and W are mostly the same, which the controls group was not significant different with the 100 MPa 1 and 3 minutes, and also 200 MPa 1 minute. And after 200 megapar for 3 minutes and below, the HPP conditions were significantly higher than the control group. And the white color, the result of white color is affected by the pressure, because the pressurized will affect the deterioration of protein, which is especially actin and myosin. And the whiteness will also affect the result of brightness, which is value L. And the value A does not, for control group, does not have significance different with the HPP condition. This is because tilapia field had less red muscles. And for the color parameters of value B shows that the control group was not significantly different with 100 megapar and 200 megapar for 1 and 3 minutes, but 300 megapar and 400 megapar for 1 and 3 minutes were significantly higher than control group. For the figure 1 shows the compression force on control and polarized tilapia fillets. There were no significant difference between the control group and the HPP condition. And for figure 2, also the shear force on control and polarized tilapia fields. There were no significant difference between the control group and the tilapia fields under HPP condition. For figure 3 shows an aerobic cytotrophic count of controls and polarized tilapia fillets. 400 megapar has the lowest rate of aerobic cytotrophic count, and the 400 megapar for 3 minutes has reduced the number of aerobic cytotrophic count, which is 1.15 CFU. And according to Josh, at 2015 shows that pressure ranging from 300 to 800 megapar are known to be sufficient to inactivate vegetative microorganisms due to inactivation of enzyme membranes, protein denaturation, and cell membrane rupture. Figure 4 shows the appearance liking rate of controls and pressurized tilapia fillets. And 200 megapar for 3 minutes has the highest appearance liking rating, and the lowest is 300 and 400. This is because 300 and 400 megapar are affected by their color change during pressurized. Figure 5 shows the histogram of distributions of samples of pressurized and controlled tilapia fillets. When we focus on 0, which is ideal white color of tilapia fillets, the 200 MPa has the highest rate, which is 35%. And we focus on the score 3, which is represent much whiter than the ideal white color of tilapia fillets. 300 megapar has 32% and 400 megapar has 29%. For the sensory evaluation 2 triangle test, the sample processed as 100 megapar for 3 minutes were not significantly different from the control samples after roasting, and the sample processed at 400 megapar for 3 minutes, this difference was perceptible. And table 3 shows the color of tilapia fillets after 1 and 7 days of refrigerated storage. The result shows that for controls and 200 and 400 megapar for 3 minutes, there were no significant change in the storage time of day 1 and day 7. This shows that the color of tilapia fillet was not affected by the storage refrigerator store at 1 week. And table 4 shows the compression force on cytotrophic count of tilapia fillets after 1 and 7 days of refrigerated storage. For the control groups and 200 megapar for 3 minutes for both experiments showed that the storage time at day 1 is significantly higher than day 7. But there was no significance between the storage time and 400 megapar for 3 minutes. Conclusion: HPP significantly changed color and reduced count of cytotrophic microorganisms on tilapia fillets pressurized at 300 and 400 megapar, while 100 and 200 megapar were similar to control samples in this aspect. Texture of tilapia fillets was not affected by pressurization on both compression and shear force tests. Sensory evaluation shows that appearance of fillet processed at 200 megapar was preferred by assessor, while white color of these samples was considered ideal by the majority of participants. Sample processed at 400 megapar for 3 minutes was significantly different from the control sample after cooking on the triangle test. Furthermore, results of the refrigerator storage experiment shows that HPP at 400 for 3 minutes is a suitable condition for preservation of tilapia fillets for at least 7 days. Hence, HPP was effective to reduce initial microbiology of tilapia fillets at pressure above 300 megapar and to preserve the sample for 1 week, but no significant color change. But a significant color change affected consumer acceptance of this sample appearance. Thank you.